everyone, this is Steven, the Christie Realty Group, and getting you updated today. So let's talk about Wisdom Wednesday and the sales that are taking place today. And as we know, both sales and prices have increased. So what is the motivation for the sellers right now? So I've told you in the past, it's always about the functionality of the home, maybe increasing because you need some office space and all the different changes we're having. But now we're finding a lot of different things going on with Californians moving out of state. So it's funny when I go and meet other agents, we talk about our clients who are selling and we say, well, where's your client going? So there's always 4 or 5 different options. We know that most clients, are heading off to Utah, they're going over to Florida, companies and clients are going to Texas. You also see Idaho, you see Montana, but there's a lot of different places that people are moving to because of the popularity of what they're seeing in other states compared to what we're doing in California. But, the buyer demand at the same time is still rising. So we find an inventory shortage a little bit, but we have an increase in rising of buyer demand. So the buyer demand rising is mostly due to the middle or lower section of the residential inventory, which means that the rates are down. It's a good opportunity for cost factors because if a buyer gets into a property today, we both know that the buyer is gonna stay there for a longer period of time. One thing, even if the market goes up or down as projections are showing us, their actual payment will still stay the same. So let's get back into the market update. So let's talk about the update itself. Now, I have shared so much information recently about the closings, and with the closings, we talk about where we were standing before, the actual COVID hit, and then during COVID hit. But I want to actually start back into the numbers back in June. And June was our first month that we saw, okay, when closings came from 2019 at 486, we kind of built up from 169 in May to 370 closings in June. After June, we actually balanced out in July when we went from 487 in 2019, then we saw 478 in 2020. So the good thing, in August, we picked up and went over. Remember we talked about August, we rose up to 491 closings. And then September, which is great to hear, it did what we thought, from seeing all the different closings, we saw 493. So that was an increase from 2019 from 345 in our area. So what does that mean? Where are we today? Why is demand still going in September like it never did before? But the most important part is, what are the actual in escrow properties in October so far? So in October in 2019, what we had in escrow or closed was 395 closings. Now, what we're finding today in October open escrows, we're at 659, which is amazing. So we think about that whole process and think, if we have that increase, where is the inventory and what's going to happen? So what we have to understand is, the question is it going to rise? Is inventory going to rise? And I think, what we have to understand is politics plays a big part in the economy, in the real estate market, and we really cannot avoid it. So now we know that as sellers are looking today as what's the best position for them and what they should do and the opportunities, there's still skepticism on what's going on in the worldwide and what's going on in California. So what they're looking at is, what's the impact going to be for them? How's it going to affect them in the futures? So we look at it and we go, what are the projections that are being set out today? What's the future going to look like? So it's funny because there's such a big mass change. It's from 0.6% people are saying next year we're going to have an increase to actually up to 6%. So it's a big variation of differences of what you're looking at. But what I look at is what's been happening and where do we stand today? So I turned around and saw that throughout the whole United States, there's $9,800 increase in equities throughout the whole United States. And the good thing is we saw $620 billion worth of equity growth. So obviously homeowners have taken advantage of that. Even in California alone, we have $12,000 increase in equity, which is great because it gave some surety for the clients. Now there's some equity for positioning yourself to buy another property and more information to work with on your next purchase. So, there's so much going on. You got to figure out, where does this fit you? Where does it fit the economy, and how you want to take advantage of it? Or do you want to just settle and see what happens next year? So this is Steven with the Christie Realty Group. I hope this information was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Have a great day.